I just logged into one of my oldest accounts that I don't play anymore, and we recently had two new beastly looking infantry heroes, Skogul and Goresh. However, there is a misconception because yes, on paper they look really good when they are paired together, but I think especially one of them has a really nice pairing with one of the earlier generation commanders, heroes, and in today's video we will briefly take a look at their skills and we will discuss that pairing specifically. Without further ado, let's go.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Right, starting with Skogul, Blood Soak Battle. Basically, this skill doesn't do anything like any skill damage or anything, but it buffs you, like kinda similar to Mr. Husk. It gives you Vigor, which is 5% HP, Blood Fury, Legion deals additional counterattack damage every second to all legions. This is the downside of the skill at close range when they launch a normal attack at your legion. So you are not actually dealing that bonus counterattack damage to mages, archers or ranged cavalry, which is really suck. Target legions take 15% less counterattack damage from Blood Fury with each additional target. Maximum damage reduction. This is the damage that your counterattack damage will go down, like maximum. It's going to be 50%. And it's really not really bad, especially when you max this. It goes all the way up to 6 seconds. But as I said, there is a big downside. Blood Fury buff only increases your counterattack damage against legions at close range, meaning only infantry and non-ranged melee cavalry. Second one, all infantry units in Skogul's Legion gain 5% attack, goes up to 20% and 10% HP bonus. Pretty decent. The next one, while in the field, Skogul's Legion gains 60% march speed every time they rampage and 1% attack every time they launch a counterattack, up to maximum 10%. So you see the deal, right? This hero is heavily about counterattack damage. Now, when it comes to rampage, if you guys don't know what rampage is, go to your infantry training building, then hit info, and here you will see rampage. March speed increases when approaching the target legion. The rampage is basically where your infantry charges after some distance. When you're close enough, they just charge really fast to the enemy. And during that charge, it's going to give you extra 60% march speed, which is really cool. Like, you are going to charge like cavalry. And fourth one, Skogul's Legion has 10% chance to receive healing when hit with a normal attack. This effect can be triggered once every 5 seconds. Pretty decent, I would say. Sustained skill. Awakening, again, the same thing. Extra 10% more counterattack damage. Definitely not bad. Goresh, the Tormentor. Look at that. Like, he looks like a emo Tormentor. What the hell? Active skill Wild Blood. Goresh Legion gains physical keen and resistance for 2 seconds. When you max the skill, the duration goes to 6 seconds. Physical attack damage bonus 50% and damage taken reduction 15%. I think this one is definitely better than the Skogul skill. All infantry units in Goresh Legion gain 5% defense, which goes up to 15%. And again, just like Skogul, he also has insane counterattack damage. This one goes up to 20%, but we have more. When your legion launches a counterattack, they have a 50% chance to deal additional damage up to 5 surrounding legions. This is quite important. Again, it says surrounding legions. Now, if you played Call of Dragons enough, you should know that there are only 2 units that can actually technically surround the enemy. And those are melee units, infantry and non-ranged cavalry. So this additional damage, just like Skogul, if I'm not mistaken, it's not going to be effective against archers and mages and ranged cavalry. So instead of surrounding legions, even if it was nearby, because sometimes even those ranged marchers gets close to you, that would be much better. Each additional legion targeted reduces damage taken by 15%. This effect can trigger up to 2 times per second. That's insane. Twice every single turn, 2 times per second. The last one is luckily about rallies, and it gives you extra 20% attack, meaning if Goresh's awakened skill is not something crazy, a 5-5-5-1 version is going to serve you really well. Well, you are basically buffing your active skill Wild Blood. Before awakening, it is 6 seconds, 50% attack, 15% damage taken reduction. After awakening, it is just extra 10% attack and 5% damage taken reduction. Is it good? Of course. But if you are not a rally leader, for people who just cannot get enough tokens to awaken heroes, I think 5551 Goresh is just the sweet, like it's a perfect investment. Now when it comes to pairings, on a first glance, like they're going to work really good together, don't get me wrong, like it's not a bad pairing. In fact, both Skogul and Goresh, in my opinion, can be paired with pretty much any other infantry hero in the game. However, of course, there are some pairings that is going to work better. And number one, the pairing that I was talking, I think is going to be absolutely best for Skogul is Garwood. I think the synergy between Garwood and Skogul is going to be really good. The reason is, if we take a look at the fourth skill, Skogul's Legion has a 10% chance to receive healing when hit with a normal attack, healing factor 350, and this effect can be triggered once every 5 seconds, meaning like pretty much since you are the tank, you're going to take a lot of damage all the time on the field. She will be healing your Legion pretty much every 5 seconds. And if we take a look at Garwood's fourth skill, has 75% chance to increase physical damage dealt by 30% for 5 seconds when healed. So both skills synergizes so well together, and the moment you heal with your Skogul and it goes into cooldown, which is exactly 5 seconds, you will already with a 75% chance, and that is massive. Like 75% chance is really high. For the whole cooldown duration, you will have this extra 30% physical damage dealt bonus, and I think this march is going to be amazing. And this gives us the opportunity, because in Season 2, most people use Garwood and Madeline. People tried marches that deals a lot of damage, such as Madeline and Nika. Like, it's on paper, it's best of both worlds. You have the tankiness, you have the damage. However, shortly after, everybody came to the realization that in this game, infantry should do what infantry is supposed to do, which is tanking and soaking up the damage, like pretty much being the meat shield. And in the meantime, while you are doing that, of course, dealing counter-attack damage as much as possible is going to get you a lot of kills. And Madeline, paired with Garwood, was their go-to march. But now, since, in my opinion, people will be pairing Garwood with Skogul, I think this gives you the opportunity to split Garwood and Madeline and pair Madeline with your Goresh. Because Goresh is super versatile. Like, there are no skills that... Look at the picture my wife just sent me. Oh my god. As I was saying, there are no skills that limits the usage of Goresh. He doesn't necessarily need to be a primary or secondary, or he doesn't need to be paired with a skill damage commander or a tank march. It just doesn't matter. He's so versatile, so universal. So Madeline with Goresh and Garwood with Skogul, I think, are going to be super nice 2 infantry marches, and this will Garwood a lot of counterattack damage thanks to Skogul, and Madeline will provide insane tankiness for Goresh. And in fact, from his first skill, he will already have 15% damage taken reduction. I'm assuming that you are not going to awaken him, because like he is just the perfect 5551. So those 2 marches, in my opinion, as I said, I could be wrong, are going to be the absolute best 2 infantry marches in Call of Dragons in the upcoming seasons. Make sure to subscribe for more Call of Dragons videos. I see you on the next one. Goodbye.